Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scion of the Dark House, episode 19. This is a Dungeons & Dragons Gothic horror podcast. So if there are any subject matter such as blood, gore, child endangerment, body horror, or other such things that may cross a line for you, please feel free to sit this one out. As much as your support means to us, your mental health means a lot as well. So when we last left off, the group had quite an adventure with a newly found friend, Bruno, the lizard man paladin. You guys had just finished fighting a group of creatures that had attacked you in the hedge maze. After defeating them, you headed out, and Rerek, making a snap decision, set a small section of the hedge maze alight. It burnt to a crisp with presumably everything inside of it, which caused Arthur to go into a dissociative state where he seemed to be barely able to speak or perceive the world around him. They then proceeded past the lake house to go to the winery, passing through a mysterious stables complex where a variety of undead creatures, including humanoids, horses, and dogs, seem to be playing out a normal day in the life of stable hands at a stables. Confused by this, after a few attacks and a few inquiries and questions, you guys kept going and made it to the winery, which, unlike Arthur's desires, did not have good, potable wine, but instead the ground was saturated with blood, as were the grapes that seemed to somehow naturally fill with blood, which was found out by Bruno shoving an entire bunch in his mouth. You then found the basement was in a similar state of disarray, with barrels leaking the blood wine mixture onto the floor. You then found a creature outside, similar to the vampiric creature in the crypt underneath the chapel. It managed to escape, and that's when Bruno ended up having to start fighting a strange creature made from the blood wine mixture on the floor in the basement by himself. Luckily, you guys were able to make it in time, kill it, and you decided to call it a day after all of your interesting hijinks. But on the way back to the carriage house, Percy received a message in his mind via the sending spell from his mother, saying that something had gone down at the hospital and the group needed to come and take a look. So we are leaping forward a bit in time. You have just left the staff of night. You had dropped off Bruno with a note exclaiming who you were, who he was, and where he needed to go and why. You are now on the way to Saint Hypatia's, which a building you've passed several times now, an imposing white brick building that seems to stand near the University of Darkmoor. As you approach, you notice something strange about the place. The windows are busted and broken. There are people outside cleaning what look like blood stains off of the building around the windows. And there's a general commotion going on. The front door is, however, wide open as people are walking in and out with cleaning supplies, but it seems that whatever incident has happened is over.
Cool. Percy
Another lovely day in
confused.
Darkmoor, huh, boys?
Right. We should go in, and Percy like hurries in, really concerned for his old coworkers.
Okay, geez, slow down.
All right. I think the second I find any sort of nurse or doctor, any medical person, I'm gonna ask them what happened.
As you begin to walk up to a medical professional of some kind, you actually do see your mother hurry out, and she just walks by and goes, "Into my office now. We need to talk."
All right. I'm assuming my friends are welcome as well.
Yes. And she is walking very briskly, her heels very much clacking on the hardwood floor.
Yeah.
And people very much get out of her way,
Yeah.
as she is a very determined woman.
Percy is very
Mama
used to
means
this,
business.
and a small part of him does still seek her approval, so he's equally just fleet-footed, serious behind her. He kind of just gestures to you all like, "Come on."
Jesus, like mother, like son, I suppose.
So as she gets into her office, she does hold the door open for all of you. And as you pile into her office, which isn't as large as you would think an office for someone of her standing in the hospital would be, but it's still large enough for a desk, papers, paintings on the wall. It's a nice office, and it has a lovely window out to the street. That window has not been busted. You also notice that there is a table, a sort of one of those rolling carts that the nurses might use to distribute food to the patients, with something about head-sized sitting on it, covered in a white sheet. You also see a giant stack of papers on her desk that it looks like she had been going through before whatever happened. And she quickly shuts the door. And the room goes quiet as she turns. A lot has happened since you left a couple of days ago for the house. I'm not going to ask any questions. However, you were involved tangentially with this. The incident involved patients that previously worked at the Illuminated Way.
I have a feeling I might know what happened.
Maybe, maybe not. They all came in slowly with symptoms like headaches, fatigue, ear infections, things involving their heads. And then yesterday, around 11 in the morning, this happened. And she reaches over and she yanks the cloth off, and it is basically a severed head. But the head looks like it was twisted off of the body. The eyes have gone white. The mouth has looked like it ripped itself open into a wide smile with rows of teeth that looked like they pushed themselves out. Along the hairline, the cheekbones, and the jawline, there seem to be bone-like horn-shaped protrusions that have ripped out of the skin. The hair looks like it had started falling out, and it doesn't actually have ears anymore. The ears have seemed to elongate and extended into bat-like wings. And it is clear that this head has suffered immense trauma, as this head was probably beaten against the floor or the wall and is slightly crushed. We have absolutely no idea how this happened. Their heads just ripped themselves off of their bodies and started flying around, screaming, spewing blood everywhere, and most of them escaped through the windows, smashing through them. A few of them were left. We have incinerated all but this one. I was saving it until you guys came, in case you had any idea what this was.
Fascinating.
Percy just look a bit grossed out. Can I cast Detect Evil and Good?
You can, but let me check what it grabs. if it has to
I
be
have it
something
pulled up.
It's
specific.
gonna be like,
Okay.
is this really something worth losing our heads over?
If you're saying this in
Wonderful
character,
pun.
Percy's mother does, her head slowly turns and just glares at you.
Percy does the same thing. It detects aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead.
I was looking more for if the creature has to be alive.
Oh,
That's sort of what I was thinking.
well.
Yeah.
It does not say.
All right, well, I'm going to say that it can detect it, dead or alive. This thing is a fiend.
Oh,
Wonderful.
this creature is a fiend, or it was transformed into one, which I suppose makes sense. The Illuminated Way, you say they worked for. The ink that they used contained demon ichor. I'm not an expert on the property of demonic ichor, but they have been transformed by it into fiends, it would seem.
Well, I guess it is a good thing that we incinerated them. I will get this incinerated immediately. And she kind of opens the door and she just screams, "Nurse!"
Before you do, Madam Kritzvold, I'm assuming you've taken samples from the head?
No. There is a possibility that whatever this is contagious or may
Of
have
course.
contagious properties. We cannot risk it in a hospital.
I understand your precautions. I can assure you I'll take the utmost care, but I'd like to collect some samples before you destroy the head, which you absolutely should do.
All right. Well, take it before the nurse gets here.
Percy hands you gloves and like a scalpel.
Yeah, I'll just like take some shavings of some of the flesh and like see if maybe I can get a little bit of ooze, blood, whatever sort of fluid is left. Above game, I'm wondering if the dove might be interested in this, considering it's related to one of the, you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah. You do find the skin to be thicker than what you're used to. You've probably sliced into humans before. It's as if there is, the skin has not only become thicker width-wise, but has become thicker in the sense that it's like trying to carve through leather.
Yummy.
And there is a little bit of liquid that does seem to seep out of this thing.
I'll go ahead and try to collect that as well.
Mother, I'm assuming you didn't call me and my friends here just to confirm that I was a fiend.
What was that?
I'm assuming you didn't simply call me and my friends here to just see if that was a fiend.
Well, no. We do have other matters to discuss. And at this moment, a nurse does come and she pushes the cart out and goes, "Have this incinerated immediately. Take as many precautions as you can." And the nurse nods and quickly puts on gloves and pulls up some cloth that she has gathered around her neck to form like a mask and pushes it down the hallway. And you can hear her running down the hallway just saying, "Biohazard coming through, biohazard coming through," as she's just running down the hallway. And she shuts the door.
It's curious. It's curious that these people transformed. The victims of the first attacks on the cathedral simply went mad and attacked their friends and family. They didn't transform the monsters.
Maybe they did, but the effects were less visible. I have no idea how it works, what quantities are needed in order to do what. We've never come across this. This is new to us.
The patients, they were employed at the Illuminated Way?
Yes.
Were they customers?
That's what they all had in common. They were employed at the Illuminated Way.
Interesting. Okay.
But as I'm sure you've noticed, and she walks over to this giant stack of papers. After you gave me those papers, I had a nurse collect some records. And she starts sifting through them, and you see they're very similar to the papers that you gave her in the first place. Records of donations from various wealthy families for things like yard work, suspicious things that might look okay in a book, but once you actually start thinking about them, fall apart. And she gets to one and she puts it down. This was the one that confused me the most. And she turns the paper around. The donation is for basement refurbishment.
Does the hospital have a basement?
It does. It's very small. It only has the morgue and the crematory, the mortician's office, and I think a broom closet. It's been that way ever since, but this donation was from before I got hired. So this has been going on for quite some time. I have no idea if the basement has been refurbished at all. Certainly doesn't look it. Since I've been down there once or twice, we don't exactly use it for anything, so I don't know why it needs refurbishment. We stopped using the morgue and the crematory when the Gravediggers Guild took over, and they started collecting the bodies.
How long has your mortician been on staff?
We don't have one on staff.
So nobody works down there anymore?
No. It has been empty as long as I've been working here.
I didn't even know we had a basement.
It's not something they talk about a lot because we don't use it. And of course, they're worried about younger staff going down there and fooling around or slacking off.
Who approved this donation that is so seemingly unnecessary for facilities you don't even use?
Doctor Argenta. He's signed off on every single one of these.
Well, it seems like this merits a conversation with him.
He is currently taking the day off, which is why I thought it was safe to call you all here.
How often do people go down to your basement exactly?
Almost never.
So, Mother, are you proposing we snoop around?
It seems that that's what you do best. So if you would like, go ahead. If not, I will simply find the time to confront him about the donations, as I feel like this is a violation of some sort of ethics code, or at least of taxes.
Where's
Dr.
Argenta now? I mean, if you know, I'm assuming he's relaxing at home on his day off, perhaps?
Most likely at his home, yes.
Well, then we should have free run of his office.
A fascinating proposal. Here's what I'm thinking. Jasmine and I are rather quick, and we can get around relatively unnoticed. There's nobody in the basement to notice anyone anyway, so it's not like you need my particular set of skills to investigate that area. Perhaps while you guys are checking out the basement, I might pay Dr. Argenta a surprise, unnoticed visit at his place of residence.
Well, we need you to check if there are undead in there.
There are undead everywhere.
Well,
in the basement.
If it's just within the basement, I think my abilities should suffice.
Okay.
I mean, the last time we ran into an undead where your abilities should have sufficed, she ran through a field of blood grapes.
I can detect them, Lark. Everyone's a critic here.
I'm just being practical. I don't think we should split our forces when we don't know what's down in this refurbished basement. Who knows what's hidden?
Spencer, is the hospital also consecrated ground, or is that just the cathedral?
No, that is just the cathedral.
Okay, this is a hospital in the city. There aren't going to be undead in a basement.
We've found how many things in this city randomly in basements? We've found portals to different dimensions. We've found fiend worshippers. We've found hag servants.
To be fair, most of those were the same basement.
All I'm saying is that Dr. Argenta is going to be fully prepared if he has anything to do with what's going on when he returns and can be questioned by other members of the staff, such as yourself, Madam Kritzwald. He'll be fully prepared to field those questions. My proposal is that it would be more opportune to perhaps gather some information while he is unaware.
I leave that decision up to you.
I would have to warn you, Arthur, as much as I hate the bastard, he is a powerful cleric in his own right. So be wary if that's what you choose to do.
Terrified.
Man, it would have been easier if Bruno was here.
Well, Bruno had to
No,
go
I'll have
home.
none of that. I will have none of that. Bruno would have burnt the entire hospital down by now.
Probably. So we can poke around the basement. I'm assuming there won't be a zombie in there. Arthur, if you want to peel off, well, I know there's nothing I can do to stop you. So I guess we can start with the basement. Arthur can head off if you would like, and then we can go to the office afterwards.
Fabulous. You three check out the basement. I will see if I can find out anything at Dr. Argenta's. I will meet you back here in... Madam Kritzwald, is 2 hours enough time to make it to his home and back?
Most likely, yes. He does not live far.
Okay. And where might I find him? Would you mind maybe writing down his address for me?
She does write down his address. It is relatively close by, probably about a 20-minute walk.
Excellent. Well then, gentlemen.
Let's go.
So we'll start with basement crew.
Very quickly, a quick aside. Percy waits for all the other boys to leave and then goes up to his mom and kind of like almost embarrasses it. Thanks. And then if she doesn't say anything, he's gonna walk out.
Do we get compensated?
Jesus.
I get compensated in revenge.
She does
I feel like Arthur would have asked that, but he left already.
What do you suppose the odds are that he's going to get this information through physical violence? I feel like that's high. Or the threat.
70%.
So judgmental.
It's gonna happen.
But yeah, we can head to the basement.
Yes, so you head to a door that you've definitely seen this door.
Yeah.
But you've never really had a reason to go into it. It's kind of tucked away in the back end of the hospital. Just a kind of nondescript door, same color as the walls, even though the other doors are not the same color as the walls. Most of them have been painted gray as opposed to the white of the walls, whereas this one is painted white.
Okay.
As you open the door, it is dark, but surprisingly not that dark, as if there are light sources down there. The stairs are a bit in disrepair. They creak and are a bit rickety as you begin to descend. It's definitely dusty, but surprisingly not as dusty as you thought they would be. And you make it into this basically basement. There is a large crematory with a huge iron door. Off to the side, there is what looks like it should be walled off, but it isn't. A place where there is an empty desk. Not a single piece of paper or book or whatever on it. It was probably the mortician's office. It has all the trappings of a brand new office, but nothing in it. And then off on the other side, there is a place where there could be bodies placed for autopsy, investigation, and other such things. And there's a door off to the side in that general area that looks like the door to a broom closet. And that is everything that is down here. There is light sources that keep it almost half lit, a low light, almost like security lights in a way. You would recognize this is a continual flame spell. So the lights don't give off any heat, but they resemble a sort of white fire.
Okay.
And they're in various sconces around the room.
Just to start off, Percy's going to use his Eyes of the Grave ability, which is just within 60 feet. So not behind total cover, I can sense if it's undead, just because he's paranoid about basements now. So do I get any blips?
Yeah, you get an incredibly powerful one from the crematory.
Oh, I was wrong. This is not dead. This is not me. It's right there. It's the crematory.
See, this is the part where you say, Lark, you're right. You're always right. You're the most beautiful thing on two wings I've ever seen.
Okay, I'll say you were right, and that's it. What do? It seems powerful. It's right there. And we don't see it. It's just...
the inside is dark. There is a little like grate in the door that you can like kind of see through, but it's dark in there.
Should we walk up to it?
Do we blast it?
Can I use my light cantrip and try to get a little closer and like shine the light in there?
Sure.
If I see him do that, can I just slap Percy's hand?
Yes, you may. Lark just...
Lark's like physical counterspell and slap.
What is that for?
You pair of nincompoops. We wait for the undead hunter upstairs before we tangle with anything that gives you such
He's gonna be back in 2 hours.
Oh, I don't care. 2 hours is worth less to me than... 2 hours is worth less to me than dying.
Fine, let's take a look around elsewhere and then maybe go to the office afterwards.
I don't think we should even be down here. Don't
Fine, let's just go to the office. Jeez, what are you supposed to be the complaining one?
Oh, for everyone, I guess. Does it require me to touch it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
And it only identifies magical objects or objects that have been affected by spells, not creature types.
Cool.
Oh, so that was a creature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. Well, I guess we'll just go to the office now. That will make you happier.
Yes.
So we walk down to the basement and then walk back out.
So his office is immediately next to your mother's office.
Okay.
It is significantly larger. It has a lot more sort of trinkets and knickknacks all over the place. There's definitely a lot of degrees on the wall, a lot of very beautiful paintings of landscapes and oceans and things of that nature. Plenty of plush chairs and pillows, a very nice writing desk with very nice ink pots and very nice quills, and a very nice cabinet with lots and lots of files in it.
Someone's overpaid.
There is
All
also
right.
definitely a little shrine to Saint Hypatia with candles around it, although they are not lit.
Cool. Well, I guess we can just walk in there and just start with a cursory round of like investigation checks.
Sure.
Trying to find some, I don't know, anything suspicious, anything incriminating. I got a 1. So
You've never been in his office before. And his
one time
reputation-
when I was getting yelled at.
Yes. And that memory, as well as the idea of you are in a place you are not supposed to be, still kind of haunts you a little bit. And you have trouble bringing yourself to move things, pick them up, touch things, open things. It causes you to hesitate.
I look at that portrait of Saint Hypatia and I'm like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be in here.
19 on an investigation check. Is something fishy?
It seems like everything is in order. You do notice with a 19 that there are spaces in various files, but you presume those are the papers that were pulled just by looking at some of the other papers around it. Woo! Uh-oh.
It's fine.
Between,
My sleep is falling.
with the various papers around it, you guess that it's probably the papers that were pulled by Percy's mother. So their absence isn't suspicious, really. It's just the content, and you're already aware of that. It's kind of filed away in plain view as kind of a, it seems like he uses the in plain sight tactic. You do, however, find crammed into a corner in the cabinet, you can see it through the glass, what looks like a blue roll of paper that is almost as tall as you are, kind of crammed into the back of the cabinet.
Can I use Mage Hand to pull it out?
Yes, we're just going to assume that you managed to open the door, maybe, to this cabinet. Or maybe it wasn't locked, who knows?
Oh, I mean, if I have to pick, I can, I mean, I can't pick, I don't know, I don't have lock picks, dang.
No, you do not.
Is it locked?
Yeah, I would say it's most likely locked. It has important hospital files.
Percy, come look at this. It's fishy.
Okay, I'll come take a look.
Okay, should we have asked for like keys or something?
I don't think my mother will have Doctor Argenta's keys, unfortunately. It does look unlike any of the other documents, but
you would recognize that this is definitely a blueprint of some kind.
Okay.
Lark probably doesn't have blueprints in his world, so it's like there's this weird blue piece of paper that's shoved in the back, and you're like, oh, it's a blueprint.
I mean, I would like to take a look. I wonder what he could possibly be building. Are any of us any good at? Of course, our one person who probably could be good at opening this is off, probably picking his own box. But
can I just bludgeon that?
We probably shouldn't break it. It's like a glass, like.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a very nice
thing.
mahogany glass cabinet that has all of the very important hospital documents in it. So
you cannot leave a trace that we have been here.
Okay.
I guess I don't really have any magic that could help in this situation. I'm gonna attempt a sleight of hand check to try to pick the lock. Maybe I've been watching over Arthur's shoulder.
you probably don't.
I don't have any thieves tools. You're right. Well,
I would say you could probably, because you can pick a lock with all kinds of bizarre things.
Oh,
I'm gonna say that you just won't be able to use your proficiency modifier.
I can mend it if we break it.
That is an option.
When he says that, can Lark just aim a single beam of Eldritch Blast at the lock?
Yes.
Perfect.
You hit the lock and the door flies open with a crunch of wood. The part of the wood that has the lock falls to the ground, and the door swings open. There are splinters of wood everywhere on the floor.
I was literally just looking at my spells list and mending.
Maybe we should imagine. No, okay, yeah, cool. I just open it and take out the blueprint. What do I find on it?
You find the blueprint for Saint Hypatia's. It's very old, so the blue isn't quite the same color in some places. It seems that because it was shoved in a glass-fronted cabinet in an office with a window, there are parts of the blueprint that are lighter than others, presumably ones that the light was hitting.
Yeah.
You push it out, sort of roll it out, and it's all 4 floors and the basement.
Okay.
As you look between them, you immediately notice the basement on the plans is the same size as all of the floors above it. Having just been in the basement, you know for a fact that the basement was probably a third that size, and you saw no other doors to anywhere else.
Okay. Is it the cremation thing? Is that like the wall that's like that's like connected to the closed off section?
You don't know. The closed off section isn't. There is definitely places where there would have been doors. But there seems to be no indication of where the entrance to it might be, or if there is one.
Well, boys, it looks like there actually was a basement remodeling. You need to mend this. I'll go show this to my mother.
I already did, as you were saying all that. I was like,
Yeah, it was a pretty easy feat of magic. You carefully put the lock back in, or just kind of held it near the wood, since a lot of the wood just splintered off and went everywhere, and mended the wood cracking and groaning as it comes back together, and it's good as new. And you shut the door, and
I've ever suggested yet.
You shut the door and the lock clicks shut. There is still splinters of wood on the floor, but other than that, it's as if it's brand new.
Can I prestidigitation away the
Just clean
splinters?
it.
I would say that prestidigitation can't destroy chunks of wood and splinters that big, but you can certainly cause prestidigitation to sweep them into a pile and then sweep them under a piece of furniture.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm just gonna slink, kind of like clutching the blueprint as stealthily as I can, right next door to my mom's office.
Who says we needed Arthur for this espionage?
You know what? You're right. Arthur's great. The 3 of us can really handle ourselves, you know? I hope he's doing equally as good on whatever he's doing.
We are okay.
We'll get to him in a minute. You open the door just as she seems to be coming out. And she goes, "Please tell me you didn't break the cabinet in his office."
We broke the cabinet in his office. We fixed it though. It's fine. We just I like push her back into her office.
She does kind of
We didn't.
let herself
We
be
did, and we
pushed. Just kind of a, oh, what have I got myself into kind of look.
So I just like walk over to her desk and like spread the blueprint out. A few things. There is a powerful undead creature in the basement. Other thing. There was a basement remodeling. That's actually a truthful purchase, it would seem. I point out the basement's the same size as the rest of all the floors, but what we were just down there is clearly a third of the size now.
That's very strange. It's been like that ever since I was hired. I assume it must have been done beforehand.
Yeah. you don't have any insights into what any of that could mean? Just like, some sort of undead creature in the basement that my friends don't have to go deal with later because I don't want to hurt anyone. But
no idea.
Lark's just looking at them while they're talking, and he goes, "Is it really that hard to put it all together for you two?"
Okay, Lark, enlighten us.
When you want to stop someone from going somewhere, you put a guard dog in front of it.
So you think Argenta has something hidden in the other section of the basement?
He's a nefarious person. It's what I'd do.
Well, that is, well, not surprising in character, in the least. And I want to get back to figuring more. We have to wait for Arthur. Okay.
And at that moment, we are going to switch over to Arthur. So you're outside and you have a lovely 20-minute walk to a very nice house. It is definitely larger than the house that the Kritzwalds currently live in. Lovely window with ivy growing up the side, a lovely chimney, and a lovely garden out front. It seems just like the other houses. The inside seems to be dark, and you can't tell if there's someone inside.
Fabulous. Can I do? So I want to see like what the ingress points are here. So like, can I circumambulate the building, like see what the entrances situation is?
It is going to be a bit hard. The houses are built very close together, as well as there's a wrought iron fence. It is a low wrought iron fence, but a wrought iron fence that seems to run around the place, as well as the houses on the street next to it seem to be very close to the back. It is the front yard that's a bit large, and then the wide open street. So it's possible, but a bit hard.
2 checks then.
Mm-hmm.
Stealth check to do the next thing unnoticed, and then athletics check to hop the fence?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to make two sets of checks, one for me and Jasmine, or do you just want me to do the same?
Let's just make it easy and do the same.
Okay. So, ooh, wow. Even with a plus 11 to my stealth, which is insane, I got a 14. I roll a 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you do, as you hop over, you seem to hit a point in the fence that isn't quite connected to the other. As you hop over it, you manage to make it over, but the fences kind of jitter and clatter into one another, make a bit of a sound. But other than that, you seem to have gotten over the fence.
That's excellent. Okay. I want to see if there's another entrance other than the main door. Like, that's probably not the wisest entry point. Can I like maybe try to like squeeze through like the space between the houses, see what's around back?
Yes. As you scoot by, there are definitely windows on the side of the house. There is even a bay window on the side of the house. As you glance through, it kind of goes into a lovely dining room with a brick arch that separates it from a lovely kitchen. And you scoot by to the back, where there is a back door that is presumably leads into the kitchen. You didn't see any other actual doors, but there are a lot of windows.
Okay. All right. Well, back door it is. Stealth check to enter unnoticed.
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can roll. There we go. That's more like it. 21.
So you manage to jiggle the knob of the back door, which surprisingly is unlocked. You very slowly and quietly turn the lock, open the door just enough, and let Jasmine slip in unnoticed, and you slip in after her. The house is dark. but you can definitely hear shuffling upstairs.
Gotcha.
You hear the rustling of paper as this shuffling continues in what you think might be one room.
So it seems like he's in his office. I need him out of there because that is where I'm planning to go. What's the layout here look like? Like, I'm wondering if I can like make a sound to get him down the stairs, but like hide behind something so he doesn't see me while I go up. That's kind of my game plan here.
So there is what appears to be a tiny servant stairs, the kind where the stairs are way too steep, in the back of the kitchen that presumably leads up to a hallway or a room upstairs. There's the kitchen with the back door. There is the dining room. There's a small hallway that leads to the living room and presumably a lounge of some kind next to it, and stairs that go up to the second floor. The second floor is ever so slightly larger than the first floor, as there is a bit of an overhang on all sides. Seems to just be a structural feature of Gothian architecture. You don't know what the layout is upstairs, but there isn't a real good place to hide next to the stairs. You could probably hide behind a piece of furniture in the lounge or under the table in the dining room. The table in the dining room does have a lot of chairs around it, as well as a heavy tablecloth that drapes down almost to the seat of the chairs. So it might be pretty easy to kind of squeeze in and hide there. The furniture in the lounge is quite large and ostentatious. Pushing it forward just enough to slip behind it might be advantageous. But there's no place directly next to either of the staircases.
Okay, so what's is there something I can use to start a fire in the kitchen? Not set a fire in the kitchen, but is there something in the kitchen I could use?
Yeah, there is the oven. It's a kind of, just like in most of the other houses that you've been in, it's kind of a potbelly oven. There's definitely some wood that would be used, probably matches, some kind of tinderbox to actually start. There's also seems to be a brick oven. That is a very large open space that you can just chuck a bunch of things into.
With a passive of 14, does Jasmine smell anyone else in the house besides Argenta?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm feeling like I want to set a fire. So he comes down here and tries to stop it. But there's nobody else in the house. So he's immediately going to be alerted that there's an intruder. Let's go for it. So let's grab the matches and the tinderbox. And maybe set fire to one of the pieces of the furniture in the lounge and then run back around to the servant stairs and wait until I hear him come down.
Yeah, it would be pretty easy to do that. They're quite plush padded furniture, so they'll catch pretty easily. And yeah, you do set a little fire in the lounge and stand back. And as the smoke rises and the fire gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you do hear the thudding of footsteps as somebody runs down the stairs, the main stairs.
I'll take that opportunity to go up the servant stairs. Well,
all right.
Stealth check to do it quietly
yes,
if I can.
I was about to say stealth check.
Okay, let me see what I got here. And that is also a 21.
Ooh. So you go up the stairs, and surprisingly, even though these stairs are definitely wood, unfinished wood, they don't creak. You seem to know where to put your feet to climb these sort of stairs, and up the stairs you go. The door to his office, there seems to be a master bedroom a guest bedroom, a what appears to be maybe another smoking lounge of some kind, and an office upstairs.
Okay.
The door is open, and there are tons of papers all over the place. He seems to be sorting through them, looking through them, things of that nature.
Okay, well, I guess investigation check to see if I can find anything worth finding in that mess.
Yes.
Okay. And that is a +0, so here goes nothing. Oh, nat 20.
Ooh.
I've got a +0, like I was fingers crossed.
Wow, that is amazing. So as you're searching through these papers, you begin to notice there are papers that probably should be at the hospital here. There are very interesting payments to orphanages from various places, including in Darkmoor itself. There are payments to various figures, including the guard. There are a lot of payments going to a lot of various people, as well as definitely similar terms for mercenaries, or what could best be described as kidnappers or people movers or other things like that, under like transportation and cleanup and other things that are terms that ring a bell to you. There are a lot of payments.
And these are payments that are coming from Argenta.
Yes,
like that
he is
payments that
paying
he
these
has
people, and they do seem to come in groups. When he pays for transportation or cleanup, he also pays the city guard. He also pays a few other people various amounts of money in clumped dates.
With criminal background, is there anything like that I might recognize as a particular entity, that he's paid, like anything that sticks out?
Not any particular entity. He seems to, aside from the city guard, of course, and an occasional official, it seems that he uses different various smaller people, maybe never twice in a row, spread out over all of these jobs, presumably in case if one of them gets found and caught, the amount of crimes that these people are aware of that they might confess is significantly decreased. So it's spread out over a bunch of little, possibly startups, possibly first-time people, possibly even just people that he paid, just nasty people he paid outside of a bar to do something for him. There is no organization or entity that he is paying for what you consider might be the specific crime.
And do I see anything specifically related to the Illuminated Way or
No.
Mr. Herbert or anything like that? No. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, then I am going to get myself and Jasmine the hell out of here while he's putting that fire out before he decides to start looking for people.
All right. Give me a stealth check, and I am going to do a perception check.
Come here. 26.
You slip out of the house entirely unheard.
Nailed it. All right. Well, I suppose with that done, I'll make my way back to the hospital.
And so you do. A little while after you've had the conversation with your mother about the actual shape and size of the basement, Arthur does return. So you all are now together, presumably in Percy's mother's office.
Arthur, you're back. How did it go?
Fabulously, actually. I set the bastard's couch on fire. That was just a fun little bonus.
Nice.
Right. No violence. Thank you very much. Not bodily, anyway. But I did find that our dear Mr. Argenta seems to be in the business of disappearing people pretty regularly. I was looking through some of the paperwork in his office, and I found a lot of payments that are related to similar trades to mine, let's say. Specifically, people moving and silencing officials. Did you guys manage to take care of that undead nasty in the basement?
No. We waited. So there actually is something in the basement. And no, we waited for you to come back. So yeah, we found there's like a secret section of the basement, and Lark has theorized that undead nasty is a guard dog of sorts. So
well, yeah, of course it is.
Right. Well, I guess all this violence and whatnot comes easier to some people than to others. So
can't even trust you to take care of one mega zombie.
It seemed powerful. We didn't want to risk Lark. I wanted to fight it. Lark was the one that said we shouldn't.
I mean, these.
And I was just staring at them.
You almost walked up to it with a light cantrip on.
Oh, Jesus. Well, thank you for stopping them from doing that. So while you were busy not taking care of the situation in the basement, what did you manage to do?
Lark blew up a cabinet, and we found out the basement's bigger. So go team! Let's go. We can go check that out.
Yeah, all right. I suppose that's just as well.
So you all return to the basement. Of course, this is Arthur's first time seeing it. It is a bit eerie as compared to the rest of the hospital, but it is definitely smaller than what it appears on the plans.
I just point towards the crematorium, like I sense something powerful in there.
Yeah.
Do we discern like which one of these walls has been like put up to like hide the rest of it?
It seems like there were a lot of walls put up.
Okay.
The crematory was kind of a freestanding crematory.
Okay, so it's
so
like we're
it
in
would
the
have
center?
been, or on a bit of an edge of some description in this sort of oddly shaped basement.
Okay.
But it seems like the whole back wall where the crematory is, all the way down past the broom closet, which actually wasn't on the plans either, all the way to the edge of the morgue, that's fresh wall.
Is it easy to break?
Should be the newer wall.
You can find out.
Well, I'll hit it.
You're attempting to bust through the wall in the broom closet
with a wizard staff.
It's a very sturdy staff.
And it does have a big crystal ball on the end.
Exactly.
I mean, not to mention he's a giant dragonborn.
So where are you hitting the wall?
Hold on. I'm looking at my. Let's see. Okay, so how does the wall look like?
So the wall looks kind of like all of the other wall around it, a sort of plaster over stone.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, when you ask where do I want to hit it, like I'm kind of confused about that question.
Well, where are you hitting the wall? Like, are you hitting the
Like in
broom
the
closet?
middle
Are
of
you
it?
hitting it next to the crematory? What wall are you hitting?
Oh. I'm not sure.
Can I open the broom closet?
Yes, you may open the broom closet as Rerek stands there deciding which part of the wall to hit. Where's the weakest point? Percy just goes into the broom closet.
Is it just a broom closet? It's not like actually a secret entrance.
I wanted to.
Give me an investigation check.
Percy, you don't have to go back into the closet.
Good one, Lark. Good one. Investigation. I got a 16.
So it seems like all of the walls of the closet are made from wooden planks that presumably have been attached to whatever wall is around them. As you're kind of searching, you put your hand against the back wall, and in between two of the planks of wood, between the slats, you feel a bit of cold air on the back of the closet.
Hey boys, I think I can feel cold air coming through this wall over here.
Eric, I think it's smashing time.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a reason we're not dealing with the undead thing in there again?
Yeah, it's not bothering anybody right now. We've got plenty of time.
It presumably has been in there for quite a while.
Like you said, it's likely a guard dog, so it's unlikely to do anything unless it's provoked. I mean, rest assured, we'll destroy it before we leave, but...
All right, I step aside and gesture to let Rerek attack it.
Boom. Okay, let me see what kind of roll I should do.
Just roll damage because it's a wall. I'm not going to make you like swing and miss the wall. You can hit the wall, so just roll damage.
Okay.
Since it's a quarterstaff, you can two-hand it, and it'll deal a D8 plus your strength.
This is D8 look.
It's the one that's pointy like all around.
Like
it's 2d4s back to back.
Yeah.
Just about.
Okay. 2. Jesus Christ. And a 4. A 2 and a 4? Is that what it is? So
Wait, what did you
roll?
roll?
You rolled
You rolled
2d4 instead of 1d8.
Oh, what the fuck?
I was saying it looks like 2d4 back to back, not that it is 2d4.
So that looks like a diamond.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 7.
Look for the one that's got an 8 on it. And
I saw it. I found it.
Okay.
That's the one. Yeah.
Don't worry. There are D&D professionals who still can't tell the difference between the dice.
Yeah.
I got a 7.
Okay. So yeah, you just take your staff and boom, you smash the wood in the back and it just goes everywhere. Splinters. Upon inspection, there was a mechanism where you could push. It was kind of like a pallet where you could have just pushed it back and rotated it. But I mean, smashing it open works fine.
Okay.
Nailed it.
So you've completely destroyed the back wall. And surprisingly, there is an office back here. It's not as nice. It's a bit low lit with what look like hurricane lanterns sitting on tables that are kind of made from crates and stacked up wooden boxes and things of that nature. There are also makeshift walls that have been put up that are also kind of made of wood. And there are various doors. There's 2 doors in the back left-hand corner from when you walk in. As you walk in, you feel the air shift. It's not cold in here. It's actually kind of warm. but you do definitely feel a shift of some kind. The sounds literally sound different. Rerek, if you could make me an Arcana check. Oh, you're
I'm muted. I'm sorry. That was 18.
Okay. You would actually recognize this as you pass through this sort of invisible barrier. This is a Morton Kanan's private sanctum spell. It prevents sound and lights and smells and other things from leaving the area. And it is protected by this room, and possibly beyond seems to be protected from it. It also shields from divination magic. So if somebody tried to scry, or tried to arcane eye, or tried to clairvoyance into it, they wouldn't be able to.
Okay, so I relay that to my party members. So, like, hey guys, basically I'm useless in here.
Well, no, you can actually do divination inside of it. It just prevents outside forces from moving it in.
Oh, okay. And we are inside of it.
And you're inside it. It doesn't prevent all forms of divination. It just prevents anything that would be able to see into it. So it's kind of like making a magical little box that no one can look into.
From the outside.
From the outside.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we are basically almost not invisible, but.
So yeah, basically if you died in here or you screamed, no one would be able to hear you outside of the area.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
Concerning. Well, I guess we should take a look around.
Yep. Let's find out what's behind door number 1.
Yeah, I guess just more investigation checks then.
Sure.
I'll give the help action to whoever makes the first one, because I'm actually really not good at investigating.
Are any of us?
Yeah.
I have a +2.
Better than mine.
All right. I guess I'll roll with advantage then.
Hold on. I don't know if I have a plus or whatever.
You're an intelligence caster. Should you?
Yeah, you probably have a positive modifier, even if you aren't proficient in investigation.
Yeah.
Also a +2.
Oh.
Intelligence?
Yes.
What's your intelligence?
Yeah. +2.
Yeah, so you've got at least +2 for investigation if you're not proficient.
Your intelligence is 14.
Interesting.
Right.
All right. I'll give it a roll. Okay,
holy crap. 18.
Well, better than me.
So the room isn't filled with a lot, but it is filled with a lot of various tools that are crusted in blood that are laying around. Scalpels,
of course.
Pliers, various knives.
Could I history check to see if I recognize any of these from where I used to work?
My old job.
You know, my old job of autopsy and torture. I mean, I guess if you want to.
That's only a 4. Ooh, these are new.
It's a lot of very interesting devices, bladed devices, just all kinds of what look like both medical and torture devices covered in blood. Also on the desk, presumably because no one comes in here, there's just a big book laying on the desk. That's very
What's
obvious.
that book say?
Let's
Percy
read
goes
the
over.
book.
Percy does not give it. Percy's intrigued by the book. Goes over to it.
Mark's just eyeing up all these like torture devices, and he's like, "Ooh, I could have fun with that one, that one."
They smell like they're used. Do
Yeah,
we know
that's
if it's
even
fresh
better.
or not?
Well, at least we know they work.
It doesn't seem to be fresh.
One can presume that this was the ultimate fate of all of those people that Mr. Argenta was in the business of disappearing.
I always knew he was awful. I did not know it went this deep. And honestly, I'm feeling very validated in my hatred and suspicion in this moment. So I'm having a good time.
So
what
how
does the
much
book
time
say?
how much time do you spend reading the book?
I mean, if it's juicy, I'm just gonna keep reading it.
Okay, so we'll say, I guess, is just as long as it takes. You start reading at the very beginning. It's a lot of like goals, writing about goals and aspirations. He wants to be a great, devoted servant of Saint Hypatia. He wants to cure the sick. And as you keep reading, he begins to show a few red flags. He wants to look deeper into things. He wants to experiment with things a lot more. And it seems that his colleagues are not approving of it. They have a lot more morals and scruples and those sorts of things. And it seems his devotion to Saint Hypatia slowly begins to turn. He seems to be entirely still devoted to her, obsessed with a mission to eradicate disease and plagues from the earth. And it turns fanatical. He begins to write about stealing bodies. He begins to write about trying to get various people, like drunken people outside of bars, and anybody who needs an extra bit of cash to be experimented on. But it seems the experimental techniques, as his devotion becomes more and more zealous, and as his image of Saint Hypatia twists from a kindly nurse who wants to heal the sick to a violent conqueress who is going to literally destroy all diseases with magical swords and holy light, a literal knight or crusader. These seem to get more violent. The desperation to destroy disease becomes desperation to destroy certain parts of the body that have become problematic. His language also changes. He stops using medical terminology and gentle terms like, I made an incision in her skin or in her arm, to I hacked open her flesh, or I hacked open its flesh even. It becomes more and more violent. The humanity behind whatever he was trying to do is long since gone. He just wants to destroy disease, and whatever price, he's willing to pay it. And soon it turns against people he doesn't like. And he laments that he can't do this to people that he doesn't like. Torture them and destroy them, because he seems to view them as a disease as well. And he also laments that he has to start getting bodies through other means. Unwanted children in orphanages, drunks on the street at night, homeless people. And he even started taking payments from rich families who had accidental children that they didn't want around anymore. They paid massive amounts of money to have him take those children off of their hands, and then he experimented on them. There are a variety of disgustingly morbid fantasies about continuing through descriptions of horrific experiments of grafting on limbs, swapping body parts, basically Frankenstein shit that he's starting to do down here. And you are even more disturbed to find that as you continue reading about fantasies that he has of cutting up his enemies and destroying them and recreating them in his own image and other disgusting things, you start getting brought up.
Oh.
And it is very disturbing of some of the things he wants to do to you. And then the entries begin to peter off. He can't seem to get as many things as he would have liked, but he does reference an ongoing experiment, as well as his dissatisfaction with it. It seems whoever this is not responding in the way that he wants them to, and he does not know how to dispose of them. The last entry on this particular experiment says that he's leaving this experiment. There is no human pronoun. There's no they, there's no he, there's no she, it's it. I don't know what to do with it. And there's some various other entries. But other than that, you've pretty much reached the end. There's still blank pages beyond that, as he still has the intention of writing.
Yeah.
But this is a lot.
Yeah, you watch Percy go from like a got him moment to like a like, just like increasingly like he goes pale and looks terrified as he reads this book.
Yes. But all the while, it seems he still is incredibly devoted to Saint Hypatia.
Yeah.
It's just his image of what Saint Hypatia is has twisted far beyond what is any accepted image of Saint Hypatia.
Don't throw up on the book, Percy.
Yeah, has Percy been reading this out loud or silent?
I think probably in his head, but he's insane. He's an insane man who's done awful things.
So I just see it and I just go, "Why are you so pale?"
I think there might be someone down here. Maybe his last few entries are about, I'm assuming, a person. He calls them it. That he still hasn't been able to dispose of. I need to get this book to my mother. She might be able to.
Yeah.
And then we should, in whatever means, in whatever way it means, take care of whatever is down here.
All right. Well, I would like to check the door. Let's say the one on the left.
Yeah.
All right. So you open it up and you see there are various cots around the room, as well as surgery equipment, more surgery equipment, and a surgery table. He doesn't seem to have a lot of room in this little area that he's made for himself. He seems to have crammed as many people in here as possible as he could fit in here. There does also seem to be stairs to what you would see as one of those like storm cellar doors that are kind of at an angle that you would open up, which is presumably how he got the people in here in the first place.
Okay, I thought it was like, a super basement. Wonderful.
No, it goes up and it is presumably at street level. It's presumably a door that you can access from behind the hospital. But once again, nobody has a need to go down there, so nobody did. The windows, or presumably what would be windows, have been covered. And of course, knowing what a Morton Kanan's private sanctum does, if anybody screamed, even if someone was walking around outside, they wouldn't hear anyone. They wouldn't hear anything. They wouldn't hear anyone.
Right.
All right.
But it is
On the
empty in
operating
here.
room. I guess check the other door.
You do open that door, and it is a similar situation, except with no stairs. Beds all over the place. Except there's one bed in the back, in the corner, that seems to have hospital screens around it, cloth hanging down.
Saint Hypatia could protect whatever poor souls behind that curtain.
X marks the spot. Let's see what's behind the curtain.
You walk up, and do you like yank the curtain aside, or do you like gently pull it, or how? What are you trying to do?
Arthur's a yanker. We're just gonna
You whip back the curtain, and there is surprisingly somebody that is living there in a wheelchair, sitting, staring at the wall. And if you actually, what kind of check would that be? I guess just a perception check. If anyone would like to make it.
Yeah, I'll go for it. I apologize for the camera movement. I'm trying to get.
That's all right.
I've been
Percy
showing
rolled
my
pretty
forehead.
bad.
You don't have to feel sorry.
Oof.
Percy does
10.
not notice much.
Yeah.
I think he's kind
That
of
was a bad roll.
taken this without even like
19?
perceiving. This person
19?
looks not okay.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not wise, but I'm proficient in it. So it's a 16 plus 3.
What did Rerek get?
So perception check. Do we add the wisdom?
Yes, and if you're proficient in it, you would add your proficiency bonus as well.
Oh, I haven't been doing that when I do.
Oh.
Well, that was bad. That was a 1, and my wisdom was a +9.
Oof. So you got a 10 on that perception check.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. I'm not that wise.
Oh. Okay. Well, Lark, with that 19, doesn't take much to notice that there is quite a resemblance to Madame Drindle.
Oh my god.
It is not Madame Drindle,
It's her
but
mom.
there is a family resemblance.
It's her sister.
Yeah, mom or sister.
The one that she got rid of.
Yeah. Like Lark's. So since Lark's the one that notices it, we're the ones who found that note in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be like, so is it me or does that look like that old bitch from the dress shop?
Percy's already like pushing a passive, like trying to do some medicine checks on this person.
All right, you can do a medicine check if you'd like.
Did Percy tell us yet that like rich people get rid of their unwanted relatives with this dude?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. Oh yeah.
Cool. I'll say it later. That's gonna
darn
be
it. I've lost my notes.
a 19.
She doesn't seem hurt. In like there's no open wounds, she's very dirty. And you also notice as you take her hands, one of them looks like it's a Dragonborn hand. The other one has a different skin tone than her skin tone. And one of the fingers also has a different skin tone to her skin tone. And around it, there's a lot of scarring, like there were stitches. Also, she is completely a vegetable.
Okay.
There is no effort to help.
Like, are you related to Mildred Drindle? Can you hear me?
There is no reaction. She just stares straight ahead.
How do we figure out what kind of procedure was done to her?
I mean, it looks like she underwent quite a lot of procedures.
It looks like
there is nothing that she is healing from at the moment.
He wrote about like taking the children of the unwanted children of the rich and experimenting, grafting skin, grafting body parts. She's still alive. She's not even well, she's in a terrible state, but she's not dying or injured. We need to get her out of here.
And do
what about
with her?
Take her to we cannot leave this woman here. She's being abused horribly.
Yeah, but does it make sense to just get her out of her misery?
That is not our decision to make. This is a woman who has a family, and they deserve
sent
to
her
know.
here.
She has no family. Mildred is a total bitch, and her mom literally sold her up the river.
Well,
Exactly.
as a doctor, myself and every other employee of this hospital has an ethic duty to do all we can to help this woman.
Well, I mean,
it's proof for us to get two birds lynched with one stone between Drindle and this horrible man. So let's take.
I will say, since you did find the note, you did remember it wasn't her mom that sold her up the river. It was Mildred, her sister, that gave her sister. The mom was dying.
Oh, was dead.
The mom was dying, and the letter was, "I hate you for doing this, for splitting up the family, yada yada." Also, you do remember
Right.
Doctor Argenta was mentioned by name in that note.
Right. I wrote the stuff down, but I seem to have lost that update to my character sheet. So,
well, so help me carry her, somebody.
I don't have the strength to.
I'm like,
I just look at Arthur or Rerek. All right, yeah, me and Rerek help lift her up.
Okay. I will help you, but this begs the question: what happens to the bodies of those who actually die from these procedures?
Arthur,
presumably, they're cremated.
Yeah.
There's a crematorium down here.
The crematorium is full of an extraordinarily powerful undead.
Right.
Well, that's not my priority right now. My priority is getting this book and poor Madame Drindle here to my mother.
Fine.
So yeah, with Rerek's help, I'm gonna just beat my feet to over to my mom's office.
It's fine. I got her, and then I just put her over my shoulder.
Okay.
She is like trying to carry a big old sack of potatoes. She is not helping you at all. She's just limp. But she is still warm. Her heart is still beating. But she is just a vegetable.
So yeah, we emerge and run to my mom's office.
Let's go.
Yeah, at that point, you see people kind of give you a surprised look as you walk by with this like unconscious woman, and they do already start calling for your mother, and your mother runs down the hallway. What the hell is happening?
We need to talk private now. And then
we found a bag of vegetable.
Not the time. And
my God.
Drag my mom into her office, shove the book onto her desk. He's insane. He is insane. He's torturing and kidnapping people, murdering people, hiding their bodies, cremating them. This is Madame Drindle's sister, who was sold to him, and he's experimented on. And look at her arms.
And she does kind of pick up the Dragonborn arm and go, oh God. Oh my God. Get her in a room. Just check everything. And a bunch of nurses run up and take her and run her to a room.
When Percy's mom says, "Oh God," I'm just going to whisper to Arthur, "Didn't he do that in the name of their God, though?"
Terrible things are done in the name of gods.
That's fair.
Goddess.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, she does tentatively take the book and open it. And she does open it to a random page and just start reading. And then you see the color just drain from her face as she gently just shuts the book. After you gave me those notes, I was expecting embezzling, light thievery, maybe some medical fraud. Not whatever the absolute fuck this is.
Yeah, I hated him for so long, and for so long I thought it was because he was unfair and embezzling and treating patients badly. This stopped being about revenge for me. This is just sick.
It very much is. Give me a second. And she puts her fingers to her temple, and you see her lips moving. You've seen her cast a similar spell before. She's casting a sending spell.
Yeah.
Right. I have informed the chair of medicine at the university and told him to inform as many people as possible. We cannot risk Doctor Argenta, if he is the insane man that he seems to be, getting anywhere near these patients with all of these ethics violations and disgusting practices. And I will inform the guard as well, if possible. I don't know if he is going to come back. He could be on the run. I don't know. That incident with whatever the flying heads were could have sent him packing or running or whatever. I don't know. If he is this crazy, I don't know what to expect if he does come back.
So far as we know, I was just at home. He was there not less than an hour ago. So if it were me, I would send guards over there post haste.
All right. I will definitely inform the captain of the guard. If you give me a moment. And she once again puts her fingers to her temple, and you see her lips move. There should be guards mobilizing at the moment.
It's still the matter of the undead creature in the basement. We haven't fought it yet. We found Madame Drindle and the book and came here. If there's going to be investigations held down there, I would prefer those investigations be carried out without a monstrous interference. So perhaps we should still try to handle it.
That would be a good idea. I spent some of my magical energy sending those messages, so I don't have much. I need to check what level sending is. I think it's a third.
It's a third level spell.
Yes. I don't have a lot of magical energy left for the day, but if need be, well, we'll get the patients moved into rooms away from the basement door, and then we will investigate. And she goes out and she does start yelling and mobilizing people to move patients to rooms that are farther away from where the basement door is. And for the moment, you guys are left alone in her office.
Percy like collapses into her office chair and he's like just looking at this like, this has stopped being fun. This has stopped being something that I'm enjoying.
No time to rest there, Percy. We got a nasty to kill. So
right.
A blast and a something.
It'll take them a couple of minutes to move all the patients. Thanks, everybody. This has been sort of a thorn in my side for a long time, and while it's not in the circumstances I was quite hoping for, I appreciate your help in taking down this frankly evil man. So let's go take down whatever he created down there.
It's so strange to me how corruptible you mortals can be.
Not me.
Well, glad to continue disappointing.
Which is the way with humans.
Head out in the hallway.
There are definitely a lot of people being pushed in beds. Patients that can walk are walking to other rooms. And you see your mother standing near the basement door. We should be good. I moved as many patients as I could.
All right. You tend to our new patient. Me and my friends will handle this. This is what we're good at.
Can I ask Percy's mom a question real quick?
Yes.
Is Madame Drindle still in the hospital?
No, we discharged her the day after her fall through the window.
Shame.
Do we get her back?
What?
What?
To get her back in the hospital?
Do you want to put her put her in the hospital?
Just
walk up to her and just smash her kneecaps.
just trip her or something.
I think hearing the news that her sister's been found will likely draw her back.
But would that be bad for her sister?
I don't fully understand the situation. We can tackle that later.
So your mother definitely heads off to start tending to the Drindle sister. Of course, Lark and Arthur would know that her name is Ethel. If that is a fact you want to share with the group, you may. But you go back into the relatively quiet basement with the eerie lighting.
Well, you know where it is.
Should we come up with a plan of attack or just wing it like we usually do?
The latter sounds good to me.
It's worked out so far.
Well, here goes nothing.
Lark's gonna fly to be as close to the ceiling as he can and away from everybody else.
Of course, a sensible move.
Yeah. I mean, he's avoided sprays of blood, acid breath, everything just by being like 30 feet above everybody before.
Mm-hmm. The ceilings are relatively low in here. But you can definitely fly pretty close to the ceiling. And so, what would you guys like to do?
Well, I guess we got to see if we can get that door open.
Yeah, the door to the
crematorium,
cremation chamber thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Lark just like mage hand that open?
Yeah.
Before we do that, can I mark the creature that's inside there?
Oh wow.
What is? Let's see.
I think you need line of sight for that kind of spell.
I think it is line of sight.
Can you like peek through the hole or something? Is there a hole on it?
Oh
like,
yeah, it's a creature
There's
you
a
can
grate.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you cannot currently see it.
All right, fair enough. Well, then I guess we'll just have to open the door.
Lark,
Can I, before we
give us a
like
hand?
officially do that, can I use my, because assuming that this thing is going to attack when you open the door,
Yeah.
I'm going to use my once a day free fairy magic to enlarge Arthur. Just bump him up a size.
Fair enough.
At this point, his head almost hits the ceiling as he does have to like get down a little bit, lower his center of gravity. But yeah, you have successfully made him bigger.
Okay,
Wonderful.
target has Damage on strength checks. Target weapons. Target attack, 1d4. I was just checking the effects of enlarge reduce because I forgot since last time.
Yeah. It's just, I'm assuming that you opening the door might be a strength check, so I figured I'd do that.
I'd say no, actually.
No. Then
The door is big, but it's not, it's just fire resistant. I don't think those doors are particularly heavy. So I'm assuming you're just opening the door?
Yep. I guess I'll, reach down and yank it open.
Yeah. As you open the door, there's nothing inside it. There's just ash.
The creature is gone.
In there? Can I use my eyes of the grave again?
Yes. And you still get a powerful aura from the inside, but there's nothing in there.
I can still feel something in there. It's just ash, though. But there's still a presence.
Can I see if I can hone in on a location with primeval awareness, like pinpoint where in here? Is it underground? Is it behind a wall or some mess like that?
Yes, it is in the crematory.
We can't see it. It's an invisible undead. I'm assuming. I mean, you and I are both sensing something in here.
Is it?
I just don't see anything. I don't know.
Can I throw a sacred flame into the ash?
Sure.
I mean, it rolls a save. If there's something in there, it rolls a save against it.
Let me see. I might have flipped past it. Am I flipping past it? I'm flipping past it. Oh my god. What save is it?
A dex save.
Dex save. It rolled a 12.
That does not pass my spell save DC. So I get to deal 2d8s? Where's the flame?
Something along that line?
Yes. Yeah, 2d8s. Okay. It's a 3 and a 5. So 8 damage.
As you hurl the sacred flame in there, the ash does seem to stir up and swirl and form vague humanoid faces that swirl in a storm. And you hear voices whispering, crying, moaning. You can make out things like, "Help me," in a variety of different languages, but eventually it seems some faces seem to face forward, and you hear in a variety of voices, "Why have you disturbed us?"
Sorry. Are you the people that were killed by Sebastian Argenta?
Yes, we are.
It's okay.
So you know.
Yes, we just found out. I'm so sorry. We couldn't have done anything sooner.
Please make sure everybody knows. We are in so much pain.
The word is traveling as we speak. Is there anything we can do for you to ease your pain?
You've done all you can. If all shall know, then we will not have died in vain.
Right. we'll make sure he hangs for this.
Thank you. That is all we wanted. That is all we asked for. And then there seems to be a deep intake of breath as the dust swirls smaller. And then the crematory bursts into flames. And there is a roar of black smoke and screams. And the sound of things hitting the wall. It is a huge windstorm that lasts a good 30 seconds. You hear shattering glass, you hear splintering wood, you hear bricks hitting the ground. You hear more screams, and you all are knocked to the ground. This wind just blows you against the wall, and then everything lays silent.
Is Arthur the currently giant still standing? Or
Yes, you are currently a giant that is still standing. Everybody else has kind of been blown down by this storm of something.
Covered in ash.
Yes, completely covered in ash.
Yeah.
I
think I got dead people in my mouth.
Everybody okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Lark's just licking some of the ashes off of his hand like a cat.
Oh God, don't do that. Those were people.
Oh God, that's foul.
You're right.
I think I inhaled some of it.
They taste a little too miserable for me. And he's just going to start casting Prestidigitation to clean himself off.
Percy just like decides like walks back up the stairs.
Can I do a scan again really quick? Like, is the creature gone?
Yes.
Is it dead?
It's moved
it's gone.
on.
It's gone.
Okay. So how long am I gonna be like this? Can I get back?
You confirm that it's gone. Lark's just gonna snap his fingers and drop the spell so you shrink back down to normal size.
Oh, thank God. Always gives me a headache, these size changes.
Yeah, because you always hit the ceiling.
Yeah. Thankfully, the basement was destroyed either way, so.
I was waiting for like a battle.
Yeah. I feel bad.
Sometimes we don't have to kill things.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Percy will teach Arthur that sometimes undead things are nice. Rarely, but sometimes.
I may have to agree with you in this particular circumstance. This creature was just pathetic.
It wasn't pathetic, it was in pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll head back up, open the door.
God.
Yeah. As you open the door was to the stairs was already open. It was just swinging shut slowly. You open it. The hospital has been wrecked.
Oh no.
It seems as this creature left, it took out whatever anger it had on the physical building of the hospital.
Yeah.
Doors have been ripped off of their hinges. Windows have been busted out even more. The floor has been covered in ash and scratch marks. There's still clouds of ash hanging in the air. There's soot smeared all over the walls. Plaster has been scratched off of the walls. Furniture has been overturned. Papers are everywhere. You see people coughing and sputtering. But it seems like there was no physical injuries to any of the people, just the building.
Yeah.
People
still need to use this place. This will take quite a crew to clean up. I'm gonna find my mom and make sure she's okay.
Yeah, your mom comes out of one of the rooms just kind of waving her hand, trying to get the ash away. Just what happened?
I walk up. I'm just like covered head to toe in soot.
Oh God!
It
The
was
saints above. What happened?
Some sort of creatures and amalgamation of all the souls that were tortured and killed by Argenta. I guess as peacefully as they could, exited the premises after we told them that he would hang for his crimes.
Oof. Well, I guess that means there's nothing in the basement.
No, the basement is out. The basement's clear.
Wonderful. Oh. Oh, I don't think this is usable anymore.
No.
What? We'll definitely be. It'll take us a little while to get everything fixed up.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is
perhaps we maybe check and see what's going on at the Argenta home. See if the guards have taken him.
That would probably be a good idea. I don't have any more sending spells that I can perform, and everybody responded promptly, so I have no means of contact. If you would like, then that might be a good idea.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll make sure everything's been taken care of.
I hope all this ash won't disturb or worsen the condition of any patients.
It probably will, but we couldn't plan for something we didn't think would happen. We'll do what we always do and do the best we can.
I just kind of look at my mom like, we'll go. We're going to go. And just start walking away.
And she does kind of walk up to you and I'm sorry for things I might have said while I still thought that Doctor Argenta was a good man. I was under the impression that he was playing medicine like politics. Get the money from the rich people and later on use it for good, and that we had to stick to that plan. Seems I was wrong and there was no actual good coming. I'm sorry for the things that I might have said. I guess since you are the youngest, I still in a way view you as a child, and you clearly aren't anymore. I just wanted you to know that I am sorry, and I wish I could say this with not a lung full of ash, but I did want you to know that I am proud of you. You stood up for what you believed in, and it is what I taught you to do. And I am so sorry that I took a while to see it.
Yeah, Percy gets a little misty-eyed for sure. I've missed you.
I have as well.
Well, we have plenty of time later at home to patch things back up. There's patients that need you, and there's a man that needs to be arrested.
Yes. They're
With all due respect, Madam Kritzwald, perhaps in the future this will be a lesson to you to trust your son. And Arthur and Jasmine are just going to start walking off, just cool as fuck.
Yeah.
and she does nod, just kind of nod and go along. Well, there is certainly going to be a lot of changes happening around here, especially after we get cleaned up.
They'll need a new head of hospital.
Yes. Yes, we will.
I know my vote is. Let's get to it.
And she kind of just nods and then turns and starts calling for nurses to start. Nurses, janitors.
Percy definitely kind of claps Arthur on the back a little bit as you guys walk away. They're like, Arthur and him have had a surprising number of being on the same page for the past few days, and he's definitely feeling a bit closer to Arthur right now.
Yeah, don't let it go to your head.
He's gonna smile. He's like, I already have. And let's make our way to Argenta's house. See if he's still there.
Let's go. I cause property damage. I don't fix it.
That is rare.
Let's go to our next location.
I'm kicking myself that I didn't try to raid his safe while I was there. I mean, I'm broken. I need a damn drink.
And now there's gonna be cops there.
Yeah.
Don't we have a okay?
How are you broke? We just got paid multiple amounts of
That's
gold.
what I was about to ask.
Oh yeah, actually, wait.
We
What
have
did I
like
spend my
1,000
money
gold.
Hang on, am I
We
using?
got a few potions. That's all I can remember really buying.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
spent my money on potions.
It was probably the potions.
Yeah, it
Miss-
was.
I spent a
haven't
good chunk of
spent-
mine on a wand and some potions.
Yes. Yeah, you did. I think it was after you got that payment from Dove, you guys kind of went on a bit of a spending spree.
It was the falsified donation to the restoration project
Ah, yes,
from the Munsters.
that you cashed in. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've only
The
got 50
obviously
GP left.
monsters.
Yeah. So you leave the hospital and you do see that more windows have been busted out, and there are quite a lot of soot stains and damage to the outside of the building. There's definitely a crowd that has somewhat gathered. There are some nurses outside who are kind of shooing the people away of I know things have been happening, but please go back to your homes.
Percy can't calm emotions on the crowd.
Lark's gonna whisper to Arthur and Rerek and be like, "How long do you think it'll be until the bards start singing about the Hospital of Horrors?"
In rather short order, I assume.
Someone pulls out a lute and starts. No.
One can hope they're crafted better than the drunken garbage that they're playing in most of these taverns now.
I bet a song is going to be played about it on the next bar we go to.
So as you guys are having
Nothing
this
travels faster than
conversation,
gossip.
very true. As you are leaving, you do see, it seems, guards are running down the street. Lots of guards. And you even see in the distance a guard carriage kind of whip round a corner and start heading in the direction that you, Arthur, would know that you need to head in order to get to Doctor Argenta's house.
Are we trying to beat those guards?
Are we what?
I think we've already lost that race. we can just head there and get there when we get there.
Yeah, we're not going to beat the guards.
Yeah. As you get there, you see he has been dragged out of his house. There is a pile of guards holding him down. And there are about 12 bodies of other guards on the ground that look like they have been slashed up.
Jesus. Can Percy cast Hold Person?
Let me see. I guess so.
Wonderful.
I keep forgetting that is not the spell that is, I swear there's some bizarre spell that's like, if a creature's immune to being charmed, it's immune to this spell, but it's like not a charm effect. I keep thinking it's Hold Person, but it's not, I don't think. But it's some bizarre spell, I forget which one. So what is the save? It's a wisdom save?
Yes, it's what she's probably going to be great at.
Knew I should have slit his throat when I had the chance.
Burned his house.
He whiffed it.
Hell yes.
So he does freeze up.
I want Percy to have a moment, and I want to walk up to him.
He is laying on the ground. He looks absolutely wild. His eyes have just gone insane. He is holding a big old kitchen knife in his hand, gripped, and you see like the guards, there's still like, there's like 10 of them holding him down. And you, as you begin to approach, several of the guards around just like, no, he's very dangerous.
I'm aware, and I hold my hand down and do the whole person.
And I'm assuming there is a slight magical effect that happens.
Yes. A big green flare happens, and he's frozen.
The guards still do have their hands on him, but they clearly kind of move a bit to the side as he just stares daggers into you, absolutely wild, covered in blood after having slashed up about 10 of these guards who are laying bleeding out on his front lawn and the sidewalk in the middle of the street.
I walk up and I kind of lower myself a little bit down to his level and say, Sebastian Argenta, you are being convicted on an uncountable number of tortures, experiments, and murders. You'll be found guilty, I'm sure, and you'll be hanged for your crimes and exonerated from the church. You'll be stripped of all of your titles, and I need you to understand the bastardization you've created out of Saint Hypatia will be noted by the church, and you will go down in history as an insane raving lunatic and nothing more.
You definitely see his expression definitely becomes more angry as they like load him up into this cart that is just pulled up, and they start putting like heavy duty shackles on him, heavy chains on him, on just multiple on all of his body, not just chaining him to like a stretcher, but like chaining the stretcher to the wall, training him to the wall. It's a lot. They are not taking any chances.
Shouldn't someone silence him if he's some high up cleric?
What was that?
Lark just says, shouldn't someone silence him if he's some high up cleric?
I should not have said exonerated. I should have said excommunicated.
I was about to say.
I was trying to say.
I was like,
we knew what you meant.
Yeah.
We'll just pretend you said that.
Yeah. Pretend it was cool.
Let's not ruin the moment.
Yeah.
Pretend it was cool. So much for safe cracking. Too many people around.
Wow.
But that was a lot of effort.
Look, your camera there.
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. It's being retarded. I think it's like seeing the cats move or something, and it's like trying to focus on them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch with grim satisfaction as the cart pulls away.
Yeah, and it definitely gets an escort. There are multiple guards marching beside it, keeping a very wide perimeter as well as right next to it. They have their weapons drawn. It's very clear someone very dangerous is being transported.
Yeah. I don't feel as good about this as I wanted to.
Maybe it's from all the guards bleeding out around you while you gloated over your fallen enemy?
Is it because
I was
he's still
wondering about
alive?
Wow. Yeah, you kind of like, Percy kind of, oh shit. Just like
Yeah,
rolls
these
over.
bodies are not just like
Oh.
bleeding out. They have been mangled.
Okay, they're fully dead though.
They're fully dead.
Okay.
Is it because
well,
he's still alive too?
there's none of them that are just like bleeding out, still alive.
No, doesn't seem like that.
All right. Well, I only have Revivify. They've probably been dead for more than 1 minute. So
Yeah. Nothing to be done.
I kneel and say a prayer over the fallen guards and stay and say, well, that is.
Would you like me to burn them right after you finish that?
Please do not. Please, they have families.
Oh, okay.
How long do you suppose the new sect of Saint Hypatia is going to take off? But
I will cast gentle repose on the bodies as well.
That does make sense. That would be a good thing to do. And I think on this somber moment of both triumph and sadness, we are going to end the episode there. So we will see all of you next week, and I will see the rest of you in about 10 minutes.